Hi there. I am going to do a tag, and the tag is called the 12 deck tag. And I think there's not many rules. I just watched this on Tammy Pie's channel. It was from Feeding My Soul. And the first prompt is decks I've never shared before. And I think maybe there was 3. But you could do however many. I'll just do 3 or 4. I might do 3. What I probably will do is 2 tarot and 2 oracle. So the first one, I think this is called the Wish Tarot. And this is an old one that I've had for a long time. This is the guidebook to it, but it's not in English. And I've never shown this on my channel. I play with it sometimes, but I've never ended up showing it. So I thought, okay, this might be a fun tag to do. Haven't made a video in a while, and this might get me back into it. So this is just a very sweet deck. I can't remember what year this came out, but it's really cool. And I love, you probably know, I love some of the Asian decks. I have a lot of old Asian decks, and I thoroughly enjoy them. And some of these came out in the 90s, and they're just fun. And I just kind of collected some of these because I just thought they were awesome. And I love the art. You know, now if you saw something like this, it would probably be AI. But this was drawn and not AI because AI wasn't even available at the time that this deck came out. It was, there was some computer uses, you can tell, but it's fun, and I just thought, I should show it. In fact, I should just get it out and play with it in September because it's such a cool deck. I am gone though, but that's okay. Anyway, I made a bunch of videos, and then I didn't realize, like, I'd get halfway through one of the videos and my phone kept dying because of the heat. It's so hot in the summer, and it gets over 100 degrees here. And then my phone doesn't work. And sometimes I don't even realize until after I'm done filming. And I go back a few days later and I'm like, oh, I lost all that video. Anyway, so this is one deck that I had never shown before. So I thought that was kind of fun. Oh, whoops. Isn't that a sweet card? The 6 of Pentacles. I just think it's cute. Okay, I'm going to show Astronomia, Planets and Astronomy, a 4 Seasons Oracle by Urania Press next. And I have not even opened this deck. I got it. It was a Kickstarter that I got a little bit ago. It's got a really sweet box. Antique cards first published in 1829 by Francis Graham Moon of Threadneedle, St. London. Played as a game or consulted as a 4-season oracle. All right. Oh, this looks beautiful. Oh, I'm actually really excited about this. I just hadn't opened some of my decks. Luna, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Earth, Venus. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is Mars, Mercury, Pallas, Juno, Ceres, Vesta, Leo, the Sun. Oh, and then we have Jupiter again, Saturn. So I'm not sure that much about this deck yet, but I think it's a way to work with the planets and maybe the signs with the planets. I just honestly forgot. It was a Kickstarter and it came pretty fast. But I remember I was excited about it at the time, and then, you know, just life got in the way. And Like a lot's gone on this year. So this is interesting. It's talking about the 7 governors of the world and how we choose our life incarnation with our guardian daemon by our side by descending 7 celestial levels, passing through the spheres of intelligences of the planets into our fetal bodies, gaining natal qualities according to characteristics of each of the 7 governors, which are the planets. So this one clearly I'm going to need to spend some time with. And it looks like it'll be interesting. And it's not something you can just pick up and read with. So I remember being very excited about it when I backed it. And now I've forgotten why, but I bet it's cool. Oh, and I think there's another book that goes with it. Anyway, this looks cool. Yeah, there's the companion guide. So I will get more into this and then report back. And that's the little bag that came with it. Really sweet. All right, another deck that I've never shown. I got, this was a Kickstarter a few years ago. And I have so many of these decks. But this is Luna's Sentimental Circus Tarot. So I grew up, if you grew up in Hawaii, Sanrio is everywhere and it's just part of your life. And as a kid, we had everything Sanrio. And then, I don't know, maybe in the early 2000s, they came up with even more characters and it got even more popular. I think it was just a Hawaii thing. And, you know, like now, of course, my grandkids are really into all the Sanrio characters. And, but it's, I still think they're cute. And so I don't know that I'll read with this. It's just one of those decks that I got for nostalgia. Just reminds me of like growing up. And it's super cute. And there's multiple characters in it. But it's very fun and very sweet. I think all of these are available. All these decks, I think, are on Tavada. I think it's Tavada. Yeah, I think it's Tavada. And I think they just stay in print. But they're just sweet. Maybe I will read with it. You know, it's just so cute. But I kind of got it just as a novelty thing to have. Because you never know. Like, will they always remain in print? Who knows? But I've never shown this because I never really use it. It's just kind of something I have that I enjoy having. But maybe I will start using it. Who knows? And I was surprised it was a Kickstarter, but it was. And I couldn't resist. But I still really have never used this deck to read with. I don't know why. It's so sweet. Maybe right now it might be fun to use it, actually. It's very RWS, though. And I am very much a Toth reader. But, I mean, I know the RWS at this point in time. Okay, anyway, super cute backs. Adorable deck. Never shown it before. Actually, I'm going to show another tarot. And for some reason, I've had this forever. The Roerich Tarot. I never show it. It's good. The art is not always my favorite. And so I think that's partly why I end up, I like the deck itself, but there's something about the art sometimes that I don't love. And so I end up not using it that much because of that. but I should just use it because it is a good deck. It's got a really great guidebook. Do I have the guidebook out here? Let me see. I'm not sure if I do. I don't think I have the guidebook out here. But anyway, this deck is still around. I don't know if the guidebook is still around, though. But you can still buy this deck. And you could just use it. I mean, it's got a lot on the cards. It is like something you could pick up and use without knowing anything. Especially if you've ever used like a Thoth-based deck or anything. And it does have the Princess, Prince, Queen, and Knight, like the Thoth system. Because it is Thoth-based, or Thoth-based, or however you want to say it. But, I mean, I don't hate the art. It's just, like, not my favorite. And so I just tend not to pick it up that much. And I don't think I've ever shown it on the channel. I've had this deck for a really long time. It's got some nudity in it, but now apparently my videos are all rated adult only anyway, because I've shown so much nudity in the past. So maybe that's okay then. Anyway, this is the Rorig Tarot, the box, and maybe it's from, maybe you can get it from, I think, Blue Star in Woodside, California. This one's from the 90s. But they keep printing them. I see them all the time, new ones. They're not expensive. Okay, Rorig Tarot. And it does have a little book in English that you could use if you wanted. All right, the next prompt is 3 decks that you own a version that's different than the newer version. So this is the Telluric Tarot. This is the first edition. And this is by Lunaria Gold. And this is the first edition. And the first edition is pretty glossy. And the cardstock is fine, but it is glossy, as you can see. These are the backs. And I do love this deck. I have put this one back in order. So the second version is more of a matte cardstock, and it has matte black edges, and I actually have it. And so I just wanted to show this is different. I don't show this deck very often, but I have shown it in the past. This is different than the newer version just because the cardstock is different. I don't know if any of the cards were changed, though. I don't remember. So this is the newer cardstock. You can see it's much matter, kind of just, so it's a different cardstock altogether. And then this is the edges on the new one. And these are the edges on the old one. So there's 2 versions of it. Some people might enjoy the glossiness on this simply because you're looking at crystals. So this deck is really cool, and I really love it. I use it quite a bit in my personal practice. I tend to use the second edition. I'm not sure I should keep the first edition, honestly. But for now, I'm keeping it because I just am. But, you know, eventually I'm going to go through my decks and decide what I can let go of, because I just have too many. And it doesn't make sense to just store them forever. But this is the first edition. It is really beautiful in the gloss, I will say that. But I tend to use more matte cardstock. It's just kind of more what I use. And I enjoy using this to add something into my readings. And it's got a plant and a stone or a crystal. But I like the guidebook, and I enjoy this deck, and I do think it is a very beautiful deck. So this is a version that is different than the new version. I think I have a ton of decks like this, honestly. I'm only going to show a few right now, but so anyway, I don't think this is in print anymore. The gold on this is really pretty. Both versions are great. Okay, another deck that the old version is very different than the new version is the Tarot de Saint Croix or Saint Croix. It's Lisa Saint Croix, I think is her name. I absolutely love this deck, and I love it in the original form. I think more than anything because this is what I used for so many years. This is such a great deck. I've met Lisa a few times. She's been to Egypt and is a very spiritual person, and it shows in this deck. I do totally love this deck. And I do have the newer version. Maybe I'll show it. But this one, to me, is with the orange borders. It just seems to go with the cards really well. There's so much orange in the cards. And I'm a border. I like borders. And so I think that's part of it. But I saw people cut the borders off this quite often. And then she came out with a newer version that's borderless. But I love the old version. It's just my favorite. And I think it's really cool. I don't know if I haven't shown this deck in a while. I've shown this deck before, I think. But not for a while. This is a very powerful deck. And it reads so well. And I just also think it's really beautiful. There's some Asian depictions that are just gorgeous in this deck. It combines a lot of different cultures. It is an RWS base deck, but it's portrayed very differently. It's got some Egyptian mythology in it. It just blends a bunch of things. That's a beautiful deck. So that is the Tarot Saint Croix. Okay, I bet you've never seen this version. This is Tarot of the Magical Forest. This was the original version. And this is the backs. It's been reprinted now in English. This was the original version of it, which was only available, I think it was only available in Japan originally. And this does have the English titles, but this was so popular that it ended up being published, I think, by Los Scarabeo in English. But this is the original version of it from Japan. And I never see this version of the deck. But this is the one I have. And I have not cut off the borders because I love this the way it is. I do have the new version that I've cut off the borders on. Because this one is really cute with the borders cut off. And so I do have that. And it's so RWS that it's like there's no way you couldn't read this. I don't know. I guess you could get mixed up between the queen and the king. Except for the queen has her cat and the king has his lizard. So maybe not. But it's easy to read with. And you definitely don't need the words or the titles on it. Anyway, so that's it. I'm sure you've seen this deck a million times. I just bet you'd never seen the Japanese version of it, which was the original. And I don't think this one was ever indie. I think this was always a mass market deck. Just wasn't available in English at the time. Okay. And I love the old backs. I think the old backs are kind of cool. They do have the title on it, which people might not like. Hi, I realized that I've already kind of messed this tag up. because I think the prompts were not what I thought they were. Anyway, I am going to do the next prompt, which, so just have no expectations about this video. I'm going to do another prompt that was actually on the original one. I think I was watching Tammy Pie's, and Tammy Pie redid some of the prompts. So I'm going to go with the original prompt now, and it is decks that you bonded with immediately and just fell in love with. So I went back and looked at the prompts because I was trying to find a list of them. And one of the prompts was decks you bonded with immediately. So for that prompt, one of these is the Sistine Tarot. And the moment I got this deck, I fell in love with it. And I spent a lot of time using this deck. I took November off completely last year from work, and I spent so much time with this deck. And I used this in the Drop 'em 78. So it was one of the decks that I really was studying, and I fell in love with it, and I still use this deck all the time. It's a comfort deck for me, and I just think it is such an amazing deck. It's the Sistine Tarot. It is out of print. It's by Rose Bay. This one will not come into print, but you know what? All of her decks are brilliant, and I love them all. And this just was the one for me that resonated with who I am and what I was doing and where I am in life right now. And so this one for me is kind of it's one of my favorite decks. It was my deck of the year for 2024, even though I didn't get it till maybe July in 2024, but it was my favorite deck last year. I am also trying to do deck of the month, deck of the year with Masha this year. And so I'm trying to make a monthly video, which sometimes is hard for me, but I'm really trying. So I'm not going to pick this deck as one of my decks of the month because it was my deck of the year last year. But for 2025, it still is just one of the decks that I absolutely love. And I've loved it from the moment that I got my hands on it and never stopped loving it. And another deck that I feel that way about, which is available, is the Blue Bones Tarot, which is an oracle. But since the moment I got this deck, I've used it every single day. I think there might have been a day where I didn't use tarot, but it is just an absolute beautiful deck. And I love the meanings of the cards and the way it works with the pictures in the deck. And it just resonates with me. And I don't know if it always will. It probably always will, because it has a wide range of keywords and things. And these keywords are super powerful. And it's just working so well for me. And I just love this deck so much. There's some choices in how you can get this deck. There's a green eco version, which is beautiful. And then this is on the standard smooth cardstock. And I did get the standard smooth cardstock because I knew I was going to use this deck so much. And so I wanted to get a cardstock that would hold up over time. I think this will stay in print, so I don't think there's a huge rush that you have to go out and get it. But it is a really, to me, very brilliant deck and really meaningful. And I also just always enjoy Rose Bay's art style and the way she puts meaning and layers things into the cards. So this is just a deck that from day one when I got it, I loved it, still love it, use it every single day, and am just so happy with it. And also, I love the blue in it. It just is something really different and really cool, and really enjoy it. And so this is a favorite, and I am just kind of using it with everything lately, and totally loving it. So that is the Blue Bones Tarot and the Sistine. Okay, another deck that might surprise you that I just absolutely love and used from the moment I got it was the Runic Tarot. It actually might have a different name than that, but it's Jack Sephiroth. And I show this deck all the time. This one, I love it. I think it's just gorgeous. It's a Llewellyn deck, and I fell in love with it the moment I got it and have loved it ever since. And it's not even the system I'm used to, but for whatever reason, and this has runes in it, it has some hidden things, like the King of Cups. We have hidden dolphins up in the sky. And they're not hidden, but they're not readily apparent. And I feel like this deck has all kinds of things that are hidden or not obvious right in the moment. But it is just really beautiful, and it's not like anything else that I have. It is my most beautiful Nordic deck, and I love Nordic decks. But I just absolutely love this one. The guidebook is not fantastic, but it's good. You may not need that. I think there's a couple versions of this, one with the guidebook and one without. You probably are fine without getting it. It doesn't explain the runes very well. It goes into a little bit with them, but it does not explain it in depth. I do just think this is an incredible deck. I use it all the time, and I put it away. I go back to it all the time. And I think it's just one of those decks that's going to be in my collection forever. And I was surprised how much I loved it, because it is a little different than my normal style. But there's something about this deck that just pulls me into it over and over again. It's got a lot of masculine energy in it, and it's got a lot of power in it. I do love the Nordic stories and the Nordic culture, and I mean, it's harsh, but there's something about it it just makes sense to me. I do think this deck is really special, and I think anybody that uses it a lot would enjoy it. I have edged mine in purple. Those are the backs. I think it's really cool and worth having. And this one is still in print. Okay, another one that I got recently that just had a big impact was the Hong Kong Garden. And this is by Snakes for Hair. I love this deck. Something about the cardstock, the pink, the gold, and the beauty of the cards. It reminds me of a deck, Tarot of Eden, that I've had for years. And I'll just show you side by side. They're going to be a little bit different size. And I love both of these, but this one, I think I bonded with it so much because it reminds me of this deck. There's just something about it that it's resonates. It's an echo of what I love about this one. And so I just really enjoy it and have really used it just a ton since I got it. I got it, I think, as soon as it came out, or maybe it was, I saw it on Rosebay's channel, and I think it might have been out of stock and then it was reprinted or something. But it's a pip deck, but the pips are beautiful, and I just think it's cool. And I've always loved Tarot of Eden because of the colors and the beauty. Anyway, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. I love both these decks. And this was kind of the deck that a long time ago when I had taken a break because of graduate schools and things, and I got back into tarot. This was the deck that really brought me back in. And this one just has a resonance to this one for me. And I love using it. And it's got really cool cardstock, which I really love. And so it's really fun. So that's another deck that I just sort of bonded to immediately and still really love. And it's become a staple in my practice and something I really enjoy. So this is Tarot of Eden, and this is the Hong Kong Garden by, it's Snakes for Hair who did it. All right, another one that from the moment I got it, I loved it. This is the Bad Girl Tarot, and I think this is sweet and funny and really cute. And I think the reason that I love this one so much is because it can just put me in a good mood, because it makes me remember, like, things are hard, but there's also just some great things in life. And it's very RWS, but it's also just sweet and kind of badass and very girl power. And I love it. This came back into print because I saw it on a whole bunch of people's channels that didn't have it before. But I think it might be out of print again, and I don't know. She, like, runs out of stock and then reprints. But I honestly don't know what the status of it is right now. I tried to look it up to see if it was in print, and it says out of stock. So that probably means there will be a reprint, but I think it takes her a while to do them sometimes. And this may not be everybody's thing. I just enjoy this deck. I think it's funny, and it makes me laugh and smile. And so from the moment I got this one, I just really enjoyed it and still love it to this day. And I just think it's sweet and cute and fun and all the good things. It's a great deck. Those are the backs. Love it. On a more serious note, I've had multiple versions of this deck, the Margaret Peterson Tarot. I love this deck. I have loved it from the first version I got. This is probably my favorite version because I think this maroon just looks so beautiful with it. I do have one that's trimmed all the way down. I have a white bordered version. I don't have my German version anymore because I didn't see a point in having that one anymore. But this is just a great deck. It's a staple in my practice. I use it all the time and I love it. I think it's a brilliant deck. It's a little bit of an abstract deck. It's got things hidden in the cards. And when I say hidden, I don't mean exactly hidden, but you know, you can see things that aren't readily apparent just if you just glanced at it. Now I can't help but see those things because I've seen them so many times. But I think when I first got this deck, I discovered things for quite a while. And now I think I just look at it and see everything because I've used it so much. Anyway, this is the Margaret Peterson Tarot, still around, just a staple and a deck that I truly love. All right, next prompt is decks I want to study. And I have spent some time with this deck, and it is a deck I've wanted for a really long time. I even have this huge, big study guide, but there's a lot to this deck. And so I'm using it, but not fully and not to its full capacity. And I want to spend more time and study this one. I've wanted this deck for years, and then it's finally available. And of course, it's Marco Benedetti who made it, and it just is something that's just unique. And I've been just kind of, you know, for years waiting for somebody to make this. And this is such a well done version of it. I love the backs. I love everything about this deck. And I am just using it, but not, again, not to its full capacity. So I would love to spend some time, more time studying it. And I think there's a lot of hidden knowledge in it. It does look like a Marseille style deck, and it is, and yet it's got other things in it. And there's more cards that I'm not using with it right now, that Eliphas Levi had in it. And I haven't been using these cards, but I want to spend more time studying this and using these. And so right now I'm not as familiar with these cards as the rest of the deck. But there's also some just really kind of additional cards in here. Le Melancholy, Le Sphinx, Bastillard, and Juno and Jupiter. And so just, there's a lot to this one. I could study it for a long time, but I want to spend more time with this one. It might not be until November, though. Another deck that I want to spend more time with is the Flying Hearts Tarot. I've shown this one quite a bit. I've spent some time already with this deck. The book is in German, and I don't read German, so it makes it really challenging. But I have been using this, but I don't know it well enough because it's a confusing deck. It first of all, it's in German, so I can't read it. And then second, it doesn't follow a normal tarot structure at all. It's more, think of it more as an oracle with some tarot qualities. And it's just really different. It doesn't have a normal structure. And it just goes its own way. But I still use it. I love the art in this deck. I think it's really beautiful. And it's cool. And so I am taking my time with it because it's just fun to use. And it goes with a lot of other decks that I have. And so I enjoy spending time with this one, even though I do find it very challenging to work with. I do like it though. It's really cool. And it's different. And sometimes I just want something that's way different. And I like challenges. And so, and also, you know, some of the cards go sideways in this deck. But that's okay. It's still a fun one to use. Sometimes some things are sideways and up and down. You just never know what you're going to get. It was sort of an odd way to do a deck. And at the same time, there's something about it that's appealing. And I enjoy using this one. And want to keep using it and want to keep spending more time with it. But I don't feel like it's a deck that I have grasped fully. And I don't have my mind around it yet. And I can't read the guidebook, and I'm not good at doing translations. So usually I try and stick to decks in English and French, but this time I decided, somebody actually gave me this deck, and so that's what happened. And then I ended up loving it. Okay, another deck I want to use is Mystigus. This is by Josephine McCarthy. I have so many of her books, and they're all just amazing and go so deep. And this deck is, it's got 78 cards, but it's not a tarot deck. It is meant to be a journey into the deeper mysteries. And it is a really cool It is a really cool deck. And it is meant to just be a guide through these inner mysteries and through deepening our magical practice. It is meant for a solo practitioner, and I am in a couple different groups, but I also do a lot of work spiritually on my own. So it is a deck that I've had for quite some time. I might even have a second copy of this one, but I do really want to spend time going through this. And because I know with her decks and books, I get so much out of them. I really want to make the time to do this. And it may not be 2025. It may be 2026 before I get to this. But I am always like so changed by using Josephine McCarthy's writings and decks and paths. She's amazing. And so, and very well known. And I'm sure if you've been involved in this world for any length of time, you know who she is, but she definitely sees into the other worlds with clarity. And so I'm excited to use this one. And I'm looking forward to working with it, but I don't know I may just dip my toe in this year, but I don't have time to fully do it, but I am excited to use it. And I probably will dip my toe in a little bit. I tried to work with it before, but it was too much at the time. So I think I'll just start, but it'll probably be 2026 before I fully dive into this one. Okay, another prompt is decks in your collection you've never really used and why. And this one, I think it was a Kickstarter. It's the Magic Soul Tarot by Laura Liddell and Julia Aurelia. And I think I got this one and I looked at it and I think it was in German. And then it's not like it's that hard to figure out, but it was in German. And then, I don't know, it just seemed very people-y. I'm not sure if I should keep this deck. I think it's a pretty deck, but I don't know that it's something I'll use. And I don't know that this should stay in my collection. So I'm going to put some decks in storage, and I think this one's probably going into storage because you can see that I've never used it, and I'm not sure that I ever will use it. And what I might do is put some decks in storage, and then if I don't miss them and don't care, I might just get rid of this one. It's actually just not something I think I'll use. It's just not me. It's not a me deck, even though it's a pretty deck. I never see it. I don't think I've ever seen it on YouTube. But I also just think, might not be what I ever want to use. So I'm trying to decide, do I put things away for a bit or do I just sell them? And I think right now, because everything's so much in flux, I might just put it away into storage and then get rid of it at some point. Because I don't know if I'll use it ever. Maybe I'll want to at some point, but I kind of doubt it. But it is pretty. But pretty is not enough for me. And it probably reads great. And you know, if I was doing a lot of readings for other people, I might be more likely to keep it. But I'm really not doing a ton of that right now. But I don't know if I will later. But right now, I'm not doing a ton of that. Anyway, this is the Magic Soul Tarot by Julia Aurelia. All right, another one I've never really used is the Likely Tarot. And this one I think I might want to use. I like it. I just haven't. I've shuffled it, or I haven't really used it in any serious way. I do think it's pretty. It's an animal and pip deck, but I am not 100% sure that it's for me, and I've had it for a long time. I like the color palette in it. That's one thing I will say. And I like the drawings. I like the art in it a lot. It feels hand-drawn. So that is something about it that I do really enjoy. But I haven't been called to use it a ton. Or maybe at all, you know. And so does it make sense to keep it? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this one should go into the do I need it pile. I do love the Judgment card there. And I do think and I do love the moon. And I think the color palette is just so enchanting. And I love the drawing style. But it's an animal deck, and I don't know. Sometimes I struggle with the animal decks. This one's a little easier to make connections with than some of them are. And it, you know, the pips are pretty clear. And it does make sense. So, I don't know. But it's so pretty. So, I've kept it, even though I haven't really used it. It's enjoyable to look at. But maybe I don't need it. I don't know. I'm torn on this one. Because I haven't really spent enough time with it. All right, another one I've never really used is, forgot the name of it, the Vibra Tarot. And not because I think I've shuffled it, maybe done some draws with it or a couple readings, but not really. I've never really used this. It's a collage deck, and I think I got it at a time when I had other collage decks. It's beautiful, though. It's a nice collage deck. I think I would have fun with this. I don't know why I haven't used it, to be really honest. Looking at it, I think it's gorgeous. You know what? I would use this. I just haven't. You know, I just haven't spent any time with it. I don't think I've ever shown it. Because I never really used it. And so this one is interesting. And it is quite beautiful. It's got a lot of nudity in it. Sometimes I just have to laugh. But like I said before, it seems like my channel, they're just making everything adults only anyway. And I don't monetize my channel, so it's probably fine. And this has vibes of other collage decks. But it's its own thing, and it's cool. I like it. Maybe I'll spend some time with it. It feels like a deck for those hot days of summer. So maybe September is a good time to use this deck. And why not, right? So maybe this one's going to be a September deck. I do really enjoy collage decks. And this one's really fun. I don't know. Why have I never used this? I have too many decks, that's why. And I don't have any type of rotation or anything going on. I just sort of pick decks I like and use them. And I tend to go back to the same ones over and over. So this one maybe will be a September deck. We'll see. All right. The next prompt is decks you want to use by the end of the year. So my first one is Tarot Intra Vampiria. So basically the keys to the Forbidden Tarot of Vampires. Have used this in the past, but not for a while. And I do want to use it by the end of the year. And it's kind of perfect for the season coming up. And I love my vampire decks, right? And this one's cool. It's fun. It's a French deck, obviously. And I just thought this would be fun to use, and because I haven't used it in a long time, I just decided I wanted to use it this year. And I love all my vampire decks. I have a ton of them. It's hard to get rid of them because I enjoy them. So this one I hadn't used in a while, and I thought, okay, why not? I don't know, I never see this one talked about. I mean, it's still available and everything. I don't know why I never see it. I never hear about it at all. Maybe people aren't into it. But anyway, for me, this is a fun one, and it's cool. It's what I want to use. And so this is going to be used during spooky season this year. So I will talk about it a little more at that time. I just wanted to show it to you because I think it's still in print and fun. And even if decks aren't in print, I still enjoy seeing them, even if they're out of print, because you can always find things used, or most of the things you can. And even if you can't, I just enjoy seeing old decks and things out of print. But this one's, I'm almost positive it's still in print. Okay, I just checked. It's still available on French Amazon. It's only 16 pounds and like 13 pounds to ship it to the US, and probably much less if you're in Europe. All right, another one I want to use is the Naked Truth Tarot. I think this is such a pretty deck. I love the sides of it. These are the backs. I shuffled it, played with it a little, and then put it back in order. Just ignore the nudity. And haven't really used it. And it's a deck I want to use by the end of the year. Gosh, it's got so much nudity. I'm just like gonna get in trouble here again. So maybe I won't be able to show it that much, because even though my channel I think is adults only, I still could get in trouble for nudity, although this is art nudity. But I like this deck, and I think it's pretty. I always love, I have too many of them, honestly. Too many decks with, oops, sorry, my cat is trying to get on the table. Anyway, I was gonna say I have so many decks that have this historical art. Excuse me, mushroom. I've been trying to get him off the table. I don't know what to do. I was just gonna show you the deck. He is kind of a pain right now. He just wants to be near me, so I'm having a hard time keeping him off the table. So we may go to a different deck. Anyway, I have a lot of this art that is historical art used in tarot. I have so many decks like that. My favorite's always going to be the Tarot of Delphi, because it was kind of my first one, and plus the paintings have so much meaning. But anyway, this is a fun deck. I got it last year. I want to use it by the end of the year. Okay, excuse me, mushroom. Okay, another one that I was a Kickstarter, I haven't opened it, is the Rhythm and Soul Tarot. I think this is out mass market now, but I do want to use it by the end of the year, so I'm going to open it. Well packaged. This is the guidebook. The guidebook looks nice. And I think that this is, I was surprised that it's already out mass market. I was able to just pop onto the live, Simon's Live. I already scratched it for a few minutes the other day, and I think he was showing this, and it looked really cool. And so I thought, I better open mine and play with it. Ooh, the cardstock is beautiful. Really nice. I did scratch the side of it when I opened it. That happens sometimes. You know, it's not the end of the world, but I do want to play with this by the end of the year. It's a beautiful deck, and it's cool because it's music. Oh, I love this. This is just reminds me, this looks like a picture from Cuba almost. Anyway, this looks super cool. And I'm excited, and it's mass market now. Ugh, it's beautiful. Wow. Why didn't I open this earlier? Because I just had too many decks. Anyway, I think Tammy Pie has shown this quite a bit, this version on her channel, but I just hadn't opened it. And it's a beautiful deck. I think this is one I would want to use. And it's very RWS though. But oh well. I like it well enough, I think. I'll use it anyway because it's so tied in with music. My husband is such a lover of music. He was sound engineer in the early days and did a lot of recordings. We've gone to so many shows. I really enjoy going to live music. And this looks fun, and I love the tie-in with music. I have several decks that have tarot and music tie-ins. This looks southern. I think Stacey Williams is from the South. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, so I think I want to use this by the end of the year. So this will be a fun one. It's got a nice book. If you want to see the mass market version, Simon has it on his channel. Another deck I want to spend some time with by the end of the year is another one of the Chicoli decks. I opened this and haven't spent a lot of time with it. I love it. I think it's really beautiful, and I love they did a Marseille style. I like this cardstock, but it's thin, so people have complained about it a lot, I noticed. For me, it's fine. I kind of like thin cardstock, but I know that's not everybody's thing. I've shown this deck before. The pips are fairly plain, but they're cute. But I'll just quickly flip through it again. And then the pips are sort of not that interesting, but not terrible either. But maybe that's a deal breaker for people, I don't know. They've got ribbons, different color ribbons. Some have ribbons, some don't. Anyway, I do want to start using this deck. I think I'll just start using it right away. I think it's gorgeous. It's really easy to shuffle. This deck's in French. You probably noticed that. So anyway, this one's cool. I think it'd be fun to use it. And I love Chicoli's artwork. So pretty. How would this look with the blue bones. I bet it looks great with the blue bones. Ah, yes. Of course, I'm going to love this. These are perfect. So good. Okay, I'm probably going to use this right away. And I love it with the blue bones. Anyway, this is going to be a fun one. Love you. All right, the next prompt